Melissa. I'm sorry to hear you're unwell. I just thought I'd give you a video demo so you can see the system, and I'll also give you a quote as well. So this is what it looks like when you sign in. You can see our homepage, which has got our registers and forms, favourites, help guides, some tiles on the front just to show you what is there. Then if I clicked on registers and forms, I'd come to this row here. So basically, this system is at its core our compliance management system, but on a cloud-based system. So it will provide you with email reminders based on the due date, and it will ensure that you've got everything in the one place. It can be used as well in conjunction with another system, because this is compliance and governance. So for example, if you are using a care management system such as Brevity, you can keep all of those care management documents there if you would prefer, and then use this to monitor the due dates of all your compliance obligations. So if you click on each of these, it will show you a blurb about what the register is about. So we can see all these here. I've opened one up for you. This is just a demo, so there isn't that much data in here. So this is our asset register, and then you can see that it gives you a register view of everything in the system. And then from there, you can also add registers. So adding registers will be more of a, it will be more of a web form, and everything on here is mobile responsive, meaning that everyone can fill this out on their smartphones in the field if needed. And so you can see they can fill it out there, and then click save, and then it would appear in here. You can view each record, and you can also edit it, download it as a PDF. And the other thing you can do is send as email. So I've just got this open here. So for example, if you're putting in participants' plans and all of that information and you need to send it out to someone, you can just send it directly from the system, send out as an email, and they'll get any attachments you've uploaded and any of that. So that is like the crux of that part of the system. So I'll just close those down. Other things that it's got is we've got a due items register. So this will pull every register you've got. At the moment, I've only got a few in here, but you can see everything in here. It pulls, and then you can see the due dates. So I've filtered by due today. So all start date hasn't been set, but everything due up until today is here, or overdue really. And then you can click on them to view them directly if you need to. So this is just a great way to plan, you know, what have we got coming up in May, and you can filter by that. You can export everything as well. Everything can be downloaded as a CSV. We've also got on the home page, you can see some reports. So we've got some preset reports already made. One for complaints. Sorry, this is for incidents, and this is for complaints. So you can see here, we pull everything from the last 30 days, positive or negative feedback, so feedbacks and compliments, and complaints and grievances, and it's separated into the category. So then you can see, okay, we've had 2 complaints about staff, and you can use this to then analyse and then dig deeper into what the issues are. And then we've got a similar complaint for incidents. So this would be a view of all reportable and non-reportable incidents that you've had within the last 30 days. Broken it up into the status, so you can see whether or not we've only had 1 incident in the last 30 days. It's not reportable, but it hasn't been completed yet, so we haven't marked it off as done. So the system, I'll just go back to our registers and add a record so you can see. At the bottom we've got a status, so basically everything can be put in as a draft. If it's left in draft state, it will remind you every second day that you have an email, it will remind you via email that you've got something left in draft. And if it's in progress or active, that means that there is a compliance action that is still waiting to be completed, and then it will send you an email reminder based on that due date. And then once you've done that, you can put it as inactive or complete, and then that will mean that the compliance action is done, There's no reminders that are needed for that record. And you can also abandon a record, which means essentially delete. You can add your own clients in here. So you can see a list of your clients here. We've only got one at the moment, and add a client. At the moment, it's in progress. It will be ready within the next week. You'll be able to add your own staff and manage their user licenses directly through here rather than going through us. That is coming very soon. And then with the clients, you can assign them to staff. So there is admin role, and then there is a staff role. So an admin role, they can see everything on the system, all of the registers and forms. And a staff role, they'll only be able to see a select number of registers and forms. They won't really be able to see any of the compliance and governance related registers. They'll be able to submit a complaint or an incident, but they won't be able to see it in the register view. And then they'll be able to see just the client records that relate to the clients they're assigned to, and then they'll be able to see the staff records that relate to them. So we've really tried to separate it out so they'll only see the information that they really need to, but because they can see their staff records, it means that they'll actually be able to upload their own training, upload their own worker screening checks and their license details and all of that information. They'll be able to put it directly into the system for you. So then you just have to check that it's actually filled in correctly rather than having to get someone to do it themselves. So that is how it works. We've also got the option to favorite records if you need to come in and view your own favorites. We've got a user guide created, and then we've also got the ability to filter everything via client or staff. So our staff filter, you can see here I've selected the demo admin, and you can see anywhere that they're mentioned in the staff name. If I've mentioned them in a comment, they would come up here because you can comment on any of these registers as well to leave a trail of information and discussion. And then where I've created the record as this user, you can see them all in here. And then for clients, because they won't be really in the system creating anything, it's just wherever they're mentioned. And you can see all of their records in one place. So those are the main features. For pricing, so it starts, you can just have one user, and that starts at $15 a month. And then if you have 2 users, that's $30 a month. 3 users, that's $36 a month. 4 users is $44. 5 users is $50. And users includes staff or admins. It doesn't include clients. You can have an unlimited number of clients on the system. So 5 is $50, and then any additional staff after that is just $5 extra per month. So if you had 6 users, it would be $55 a month, 7, $60 a month, and etc. going up. You can just put the admin on if you would prefer, but if you don't have them on as a user, their name won't appear in your user drop down for you. So if I just go to our shift note, for example, their name won't appear here. So they'll be, you can choose other and then put their name in as a text field, but they won't be their own drop down if you don't put them on as a user license. And with that other as well, that reminds me, everybody gets one casual user or an other, and that will give you a QR code that they can scan, and then you can submit 7 forms. Those 7 forms are complaints, incidents, shift notes, and then shift notes for clinical care. You can submit a restrictive practice log if you've done a restrictive practice, a client, medication, and an outlet inspection. So then that will allow you to record whenever those have been done externally as well. And then they can be filled out by anybody who has that QR code. So really, if you don't want to get those licenses for the staff, they can still fill out those complaints and incidents when need be. You can use this to use shift notes as well. So we do have that feature in here, but we understand that for larger organizations, they may already have a system in place. So this doesn't need to replace that. You can just not use that register if you don't want it. But yeah, that is our main information. I'll send this to you, and I'll also write the quote down in the email. Thank you.